Yo, welcome in 3HL 1045 The Zone. What up, Nashville? Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Titans training camp with the Seahawks. We're going to talk a lot about that. Obviously, you can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
If you are watching live, you see a familiar face. Taylor Lewan in studio. Taylor, what's up?
Hey, electric to be here, guys. Thank you. I just noticed we're passing over PEDs. You got your 2019 Lewans going on here with the painkillers.
What is going on over here?
I don't know. They're just passing drugs back and forth, man. This is a crazy studio.
Fire, Lewan. Look at you.
It's a wild deal.
Listen, they're passing drugs between them. I'm glad you just let it fly right by you.
No doubt, man. Sometimes you got to learn to say no. It took me my mid-20s to figure that out.
So did you really have no idea that you did that?
I love it. Yes. I swear to God. I know. It's so crazy.
Because we were talking about Danico Autry, and it's the same thing. And, well, we don't know about Arden Key. Yep. The league hadn't said anything yet. But, you know, it's the same thing. They're like, and Danico Autry's response was like, I've got lawyers involved, like with the pharmacist, with the doctor, whatever.
He's screwed. And probably Arden Key as well. Because the only, from a recent standpoint that I heard of a person getting off of a PED was Dwayne Brown when he played for the Houston Texans, and he went and took down like 14 cheeseburgers in Mexico, and then there was like a meat deal going on where they're like a recall or there's some sort of this drug in it, and he had receipts. Like for me, it was I had a trace amount of Austrian. Looking back on it, I'm like, damn. I wish it wasn't a trace amount because then I would have got some benefits out of it. But instead, I just lost 4 games and a lot of money. So it was a tough deal.
It's funny that you come in here and Dawn goes right to that. But, like, how frustrating was that? And I remember that press conference.
He brought it up.
I did. I said 2019. I'm essentially I'm letting the floodgates open.
That's right.
I remember that press conference. That was tough, man.
Dude, it was brutal. And it's so funny. And you see it a lot with football players, like how zoomed in you are to your world and how, like, you just think everything kind of revolves around you. So when this is happening, obviously it's a big deal in Nashville. But once the news broke, it was like 2 weeks later, like everyone's like, well, who's going to play the left tackle spot? Mm-hmm. And then, when Lewan comes back type of stuff. But dude, you would have thought the world was ending for me. Because my first thought when I got the letter, which it was a guy in California where I was training, the letter went to him. And he like sent me a picture and be like, hey man, I don't know what this is, but you have this going on. I swear to God. And I remember sitting down with my wife and being like, dude, I didn't do anything wrong, so this is going to come out, and it's all going to, the truth will prevail type of thing. The judicial system of the NFL will prevail. And and it was like, unless you can find the actual batch that has it positive, you're done. There's no shot. So I had one call with the NFL, the New York office and the NFLPA, blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't disputing it because there was nothing to do. Like I had no evidence other than a lie detector test I took, a polygraph, and I just spent 4 to 5 minutes verbally abusing the NFL office and the NFLPA, and then hung up the phone. And my agent's on there. He's like, all right, I guess that's it. We'll see you guys later. And just like hangs up, and I sailed off his sunset. It was a nice little FU on my end.
But ultimately, you're appealing to the people that handed down the punishment. It's not like it's some,
We're talking about some deep state NFL stuff, man. I like that.
Yeah.
We got to unwind this whole puzzle we got going on here.
Should we start the show appropriately? Dawn Davenport is here.
What's up?
What up, Babson?
Let's go. Happy... What freaking day is it?
Every day you've missed it so far this week.
I'm a hot mess.
It's a hot day.
Disaster. Happy joint practice day. How's that?
There you go. Slay Dog is here.
I'm in a building. Let's go, man. Let's go.
By the way, while I've got you, Traylon Burks will be on 3HL today at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
And he will go into the Boom Boom Room.
I like it.
This is what happens, Taylor, when Traylon Burks
I got you a jersey.
Yeah, this jersey will be on when he goes in.
That's awesome. Fun fact.
And it's not been washed.
Fun fact about Traylon Burks and myself, we both have the same amount of touchdowns. Not a shot. He's in great company. He's in great company right now.
Let me tell you something.
As the Tennessee Titans' most reliable receiver of all time.
If you keep
100%
it up,
catch.
If you keep it up.
Not being disrespectful.
But I'm just saying, if you keep it up, security will come in here.
What do you mean?
Yeah, security
I'm a huge fan of Traylon Burks. I think he's going to blow up this year. I'm just saying a stat that is factual.
With your relationship with Vrabel, how did you never talk him into getting a touchdown pass?
Vrabel, dude. He's all about, Vrabes. First off, love Vrabes. I think it's crazy.
I feel like there's a man crush between you.
It's more of like he's a very intimidating figure, and it's the conversation is going to go exactly how he wants it to go the entire. You guys know, you guys know.
That's true.
But even now, I do love Vrabes. There was a point, I think it was like 2017, 18, where halfway through the season, we didn't have like any touchdowns from the receivers, and he put up a picture in the locker room that was like how many touchdowns he had, and then every other receiver on the team. Like that was Vrabel's baby. And I did approach him several times, but once Jeffrey Simmons gets in the mix and he starts, talk about getting after it with each other, them boys loved each other.
Yeah.
So I think there was something cooked up for him, but it was never me. I was the loudest one in the locker room, so I like to believe that's what stunted my growth in the receiving category.
So that's not a benefit. It stunts your growth to be the loud guy in the locker room?
It never was. It never was a beneficial thing for me. I just continued to do it, thinking it would work, but it never happened.
You were thought of as a leader, though, Taylor. So I like that. I like that. Loud guys can be
in the
leaders,
background.
too.
In the background.
I'll say this: you kind of look like a receiver now.
Oh, well.
I'm not gonna lie. Tight end,
Tight end.
receiver, maybe.
Yeah, I'll take tight end.
Yeah,
I'll
give you
260, dude. Don't.
Okay.
260. What did you play at, though?
310.
Was it hard to keep that weight on?
Oh yeah, that was a constant battle. I was drinking I was having 3 shakes a day that were 1,200 calories each, and then 3 meals on top of that as well.
Wow.
And then the minute the second knee thing happened, and I was like, "Am I going to play? Am I able to play again?" It was like I was 280 in like a week and a half. It was just it comes off so fast. Lucky now.
Yeah.
Back then, it was a pain in the ass. Can I say it? Can you say ass?
You're good.
Okay, we can say
But
that.
that went all the way back to college, too? Like, you had to work at it forever?
my first weigh-in in college, I was 254 pounds. So then they looked at me and said, "You're redshirting." I said, "Probably a good plan." And then I had Mike Barwis, who had his little TV show going on Discover for a little bit, but he was the strength coach at Michigan, and he would, tell me to go to the Pizza Hut at night, get the penne pasta with chicken, wake up at 3 a.m, eat that, go to the workout. It was an all-day affair. It was essentially my day was strategically finding ways to eat. That was my college career.
I wish mine was like that.
Yeah,
What do you weigh in?
Now 272.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah, I'm bigger than you, Taylor.
But Taylor
played
American Twisted Steel, brother. You look good. What are you talking about? Come on now.
You played
Takes
at
a lot
what?
to look that
I played at
average.
255.
Yeah.
255, yeah. That was pushing it. 250. But my problem was I couldn't get it off.
Yeah, you were opposite,
and
right?
ain't telling him to get up and eat at night. I'm already up.
Yeah?
I'm up eating at night.
Done.
Anyway,
Is it a habit thing or is it a metabolism thing?
I think it's more of it's a genetic habit thing.
Right.
Both of them. You know what I mean? Pops
Plus
had
you-
the weight on him,
Yeah.
and
Plus
then
you
I guess
played
it's just part of it.
I'm sure this is
overseas.
exactly what the fans want to listen to right now is
it's
our
a guarantee.
diets.
Yeah, this is what we do.
This is what you got to do, everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these
16,
stats and
8
stuff, That's
fast.
how we get it like this.
Plus,
Yeah.
you played overseas where the food is phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really
Playing
good.
in Italy
It was-
for crying
I was less as a pro though. Pro, I was fine because
Okay.
they put it in my contract that you had to be the
You were
certain
going to
weight.
cost.
You were
It was
like
going to
that.
cost you money.
I
Yeah.
had that already, so I'm
You
cool
had
on that.
the weight and everything.
Yeah,
You had
what?
the workout clauses.
Hell yeah, I went 10 pounds underneath.
Yeah.
And they were throwing me everywhere in the paint.
Classic sign of
Told
tough
them
work
don't do it.
ethic.
Exactly.
Classic sign. That's a bad.
Exactly. I'm like,
That's
come
tough.
on,
That's
dog.
like Kyler Murray. Yeah, in the Call of Duty.
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
not the best look, brother, but
Yeah,
congrats
but-
on $270 million.
Yeah,
That's
take
awesome.
this and run with it.
Yeah.
Jim Freaking Nance on YouTube. Dad's home. Yes, that's true.
Let's
Nash_BG. Okay, Taylor, I was on the sideline. Josh Norman almost ran me over getting to you. Remember it well.
Dude, that's so funny how it's such a thing.
It is such a
It's
thing.
such
right?
a thing. And everything I know about Josh Norman, he's a great guy, according to Will Compton, the other half of Bussin with the Boys, because they played together at the team formerly known as the Redskins.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, I got him with that thing, and then I had the press conference after that was like, "You're irrelevant, you're this, you're that." And then there was a guy named Ryan who owns a company here, an apparel company called Hang Tennessee, and he used to make T-shirts that says "Taylor Lewan is my dad," and he found out Josh Norman's address and sent him those T-shirts. And now a little fun callback to my PED in 2019. Once I got the PED, Josh Norman sent a piss cup to the same address back. So
that
it's
that was good.
I had
That's
fun with
pretty
it.
good.
I hope
That's
at this
pretty good.
point he's willing to
Yeah,
look
that was
past
good.
it. But yeah,
I
he was
think he
being
had
nasty.
some fun with it.
Here's another Dewey Cheatham. How one of the funniest things I ever saw was a fight on the field. Taylor walked away and sat on the 50-yard line.
Denver
That
Broncos.
came after an interview you did with us, and Blaine told you because you had gotten in the middle of something. Maybe it was the Josh Norman thing.
It might have been.
And Blaine was like, "Next time something breaks out on the field, please go sit on the 50."
Yeah.
And you did.
Yeah, and then that was John Robinson as well, because he was always like, didn't love the way my antics were. He didn't love like the character aspect of my game. And he would pull me in his office, and it was right around that time. He's like, "Can we just stop with the WWE stuff? Can we stop with the this and that? You're an offensive lineman." And it's kind of like a
Okay,
smile
so that
and nod.
was true, huh?
Yeah, he did sit me
Okay.
down. And then, Harry Douglas
Yeah.
threw a cut black on Harris, correct? And then Aqib Talib, who, by the way, maybe the most gangster
Right.
dude of
No,
all time.
without question. He's shown it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
There's a couple other come to mind, but this is a family show, and I'm going to tuck that
there
in my
you go.
back pocket.
Allegedly. We throw allegedly out
But
there.
from a fun standpoint,
Yeah.
Aqib Talib is a guy you want on your
Absolutely.
team.
Yeah.
And watching that fight break out, and I was like, what an opportunity to go sit on this 40-yard line. and I love it.
So John Robinson called you back in to talk about that?
He laughed, and he's like, still with the WWE. But John and I had a great relationship. I would go sit in his office and talk to him about whatever. He's a good man. He's a good, strong man. Just tough. I think the A.J. Brown thing was really the defining piece there, right?
Yep.
That's what we all get.
That one didn't turn out well.
Taylor Lewan, you mentioned Bussin with the Boys. Did you ever envision just kind of taking over the media world with that thing?
No, it's the dumbest show ever. And if anybody who's listening to this is like, oh, I should check it out, probably don't. But if you do, subscribe, rate 5 stars. We need all of that. It's just crazy. We were talking earlier about how when I first thought about doing Bussin with the Boys or a podcast with Will, and Will was the one that brought it to me. I went to my agents at CA and I was like, hey, we're going to do it on a bus. It's going to be, a fun little thing. We're football players. Bus. Yeah, broken down bus. We found outside of Wedgwood, Houston. Shout out Wedgwood, Houston. And I just remember my agents kind of giving me the, oh yeah, what kind of bus is it? Oh, that's pretty fun. Like all the generic, good for you, buddy type thing.
Just and appease him with this for now.
That sounds like a fun thing.
Dude, it's the craziest thing that it's a thing. But it's opened up so many crazy doors that I would never have expected, and so much access to things that I was talking before, like my life's the best. I got so much. I have a beautiful wife, 2 kids. I work with my best friend, the group of boys that have been with us for a long time. They're awesome. Like we have a great crew, and it's awesome that people enjoy it.
Taylor Lewan with us until 4 o'clock. Get your take on this Titans group when we come back. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, the executive producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
Taylor Lewan in studio.
Hello.
We got him in the building. May keep them in the building.
It's an enjoyable building. It's a fun building. Great personalities, great people.
That's what I'm talking
Love the decor on the walls.
That's
it's phenomenal.
Would you shake this orange and white pom-pom?
Oh, dear.
I mean, yeah, I
was about to say, like,
in the state of Tennessee, if I was just in the border of Tennessee, I would be a Tennessee Vols fan.
I would think that Tony Vitello would fit in well with what you guys do.
He's been on the bus. He's been on the bus.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, I've seen you, like, going up there on the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Great interviews, like, pulling some things that a lot of people don't get out of them. Like, it's okay.
And Tony, he's got a little spot over here in 1212, I believe.
Yeah,
boy getting loose out there in Burner.
Italian stallion, baby.
Italian stallion. No, hey, go Balls. Yeah. Go Balls, but mostly go Blue.
It's understandable.
Mm-hmm. Have you talked to Jim Harbaugh since all this vacation talk?
For whatever reason, I don't have his personal line. But I think he was on the podium the other day, said he did nothing wrong, and I think we have no choice but to believe him. I think everybody needs to put down their swords and guns.
We have no choice but to believe him.
And unfortunately, people are not going to like this. SEC is not the best conference anymore. The Big Ten owns college football. No disrespect. We're not throwing disrespect out there, but I'm going to say at the same time, Big Ten. Am I right?
Man, is that a tweet?
Can I get a hell yeah?
Did you smoke before you came in here?
No, dude. Come on.
I mean,
CBD.
What
Just
you
say
mean?
CBD. It was CBD.
Gummies. It's not the same thing.
Oh, that's right.
Something.
Sorry.
Over there looking like a bobblehead with the big ass headphones on. I'm telling you right now.
Stop hating.
Hey,
These damn headphones.
2024 national champs. We have the trophy. We've got it.
Yeah,
we won it all.
I mean, for now.
And now Oregon's in there. Ohio State's usually pretty good. They go 11-1 every single year. Like that's something to be really proud of.
One loss to?
What's that?
Who's the one loss to?
Them boys in blue.
It's funny. Like their roster's incredible going into this season, and Ryan Day's on the hot seat.
Yeah,
because of that one game.
That's mind-blowing to me.
But
that he's
because of that one game?
I know. And listen, they spent the most money of any team in NIL. They're literally like an NFL program out there.
Goodness.
You do realize that because of Michigan, now we have helmet communication in college football and tablets and all the things because of this sign stealing saga.
Shout out to the University of Michigan for evolving the game yet again. Like truly just being the best. And of Vrabalism too. Bad teams don't know the rules. Good teams know the rules. And great teams use the rules to their advantage.
And that is a Vrabel thing.
That's a Vrabalism right there.
Listen, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Right?
Well, I don't know if we didn't cheat. We were in the parameters. That Stallions guy, I don't know what he might have been a bad egg.
Oh, yeah.
He might have been a bad egg.
He clearly went rogue.
Yeah, he went a little rogue. He got a little crazy out there.
Oh, boy.
So, out of all of the incredible people that you guys have been able to sway into coming on to Bussin with the Boys, like, who is the one person you were like, holy crap, we're sitting here talking to this guy?
That's a good question. That it's hard. We've almost done 300 episodes now.
Wow.
And we've had some really good ones. But recently, I have to give a shout out to Jack McPherson because our most recent podcast that just came out was with Rich Eisen, and we had a deal with Jack is if he posted a photo of Rich every day until he came on, that we would get him a Chevy Silverado. Now, it has to be every single day, and if you watch the episode, we have parameters. We're doing an audit right now on everything to see if he gets that vehicle. But
give him the vehicle.
But it took 780 days. Yeah. 772, I believe, was the day he came on. We kept it going for those 6 days leading up to the podcast being released. And Rich has always been, he's been like the face of NFL Network for a long time. Yep. He's so well-spoken, Michigan man. And he's just... He's an all-time guy, and you could tell even the podcast, like, he led the interview. He led the conversation. He's just so much better at his job than we are at ours.
Right. Yeah.
And that was one of those things where it's like, it was so cool because it was a long time coming. I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones. We recently had RFK on. And we're not in politics. I don't know anything about politics. There. Right.
There was a lot of people coming in that door before he did.
Right.
Like, wait a minute.
A lot of just like sitting down with a Kennedy and him talking about like stories. It's like the closest thing America has to royalty. And it's like, you're going to sit on this old NASCAR bus and talk to two big dumb idiots for an hour. It's incredible kind of the things that have happened.
So did Rich Eisen enjoy that thing that y'all did with him?
Yes.
Or was he irritated?
I think at first he really enjoyed it, and then he has such a busy schedule. I think he was going to come on like August 4th a couple of years ago, but I had like a day off in camp, and I was like, I need that day to rest. I need to have that. And so he's tried, and we've had this going for a long time, but our fans, they might not be the biggest army in the world, but they're like 300 Spartans. Yeah. There are some war daddies out there. Yeah. So they were getting after Rich.
Shout out Michigan State.
Yeah. No. Well, 49-0. But yeah, like we literally like it's just they were going after him for so much. So he would call me and be like, "You got to tell him. Yeah. You got to tell him I'm going to come on. I want to come on." And so I think he enjoyed it. I think he's going to enjoy it more if Jack gets that truck.
Let me ask this.
You better get the truck.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, right?
Why wouldn't he?
If he didn't do his job.
Oh. So if he did 788 out of 789.
See, that's why it proves you didn't watch the episode. We came up with the over-under 3.5. So if he missed more than three, then he doesn't get the vehicle. A group decision. Now, I love the idea of regardless getting Jack a Chevy Silverado, but then I think to myself, if my daughter... And if I said you have to do these things and you can get X, Y, and Z, and she doesn't feel that, now we're talking about a different story. I got to teach a lesson here. I can't just give everybody what they want, right?
You can't, no.
So we got it. Not saying Jack's my child. I don't want to put it like that, but that's the best way I could put it. Is I don't want to essentially say bad habits are a good thing.
The entertainment landscape. Who's the biggest you pulled from over there? Because Babsy pulled someone that I'm not sure you all had yet.
Entertainment landscape. What are we talking about?
Yeah. You know what that is?
Yay.
Oh, come on. Now, Taylor.
Kanye?
No, hell no. Come on, Taylor. Don't you dare do that, man.
Look at me moving to my chair, too. I'm so nervous right now. What is it?
Ice Cube.
Oh, dang, dude. Yeah. Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Maybe his best film.
Hey. Just saying.
By the way, he also told us there is another Friday coming out.
That's outstanding.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Hey. We just saying we know Bussin is right here, but we just letting y'all know we knocking on the door.
That's a huge pull. That's a huge pull. And the fact that you got the tell on, was it Friday after next Friday?
I don't know. Is it
a working title?
The Friday next Friday. Last Friday. It should be last Friday.
That's a movie that bridges gaps.
It does.
Bridges cultures. All the white guys can hang their hat and be like, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have something in common. I can do this.
Debo, I know.
Yeah,
I can quote it, and I'm immediately credible.
Boom, you're in.
The problem is, like, a lot of the cast is dead, so we got to figure out how to cast this movie.
AI, dude. We got all the technology we need now. We got everything we need. Yeah.
Hey, before we get into football talk, I do just let everybody know, too, and I'm curious, your schedule coming up in the fall. Where can people hear you, see you? I feel like you're all over the place doing the podcast on the bus, but then you guys have extra shows going on. So just kind of run through it.
So we do.
Real quick, before you do that, Bussin' with the Boys is on the YouTube.
Man, they going ham in here, too. Shout out to the
chat.
A lot of buses.
Shout out Bussin' with the Boys.
If I had to guess what Bussin' with the Boys was talking about right now, is that the OG Payne train needs to come back. The Terry Tate office linebacker video from the fourth quarter that we can get into.
They wrote, "Give Jack the truck."
Yep.
Now.
I bet they did.
They said now.
Is that Jack?
Probably. It could be absolutely be Jack.
I think it's now. All right, your schedule.
Yeah, a schedule. So in the fall is obviously the most busy time. We're probably gonna do a reaction show between the 3 o'clock and the 7 o'clock slate for people that want to talk about the noon games and the 3 o'clock games. Break that down going into the 7 p.m. game, the Sunday night football game. Then our show comes out every Tuesday at 6 a.m. You can see the trailers at 6 p.m. Central Time on Mondays too, if you'd like.
Right after you listen to our show.
YouTube, Spotify, Downcast, Apple, anywhere you want to ingest your podcast, we have it for you, ladies and gentlemen. And then we have we had 2 gambling shows. Those gambling shows have now made it and are going to have a baby of 1 gambling show. There's a studio being made right now.
That's fun.
It's more expensive than I thought it would be. It's definitely more expensive than I thought it'd be, and that's okay. Sometimes you got to bet on yourself a little bit.
It's getting done.
But that's okay because you're going to make that money on all the gambling that you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sports gambling, I have proven to be not very good at. Cards, I've done a much better job, and mostly that's because of Dana White. But other than that, I'm doing my best. So those are those things, and then we're going to do a fall tour as well. We'll have 5 different stops. One might be a doubleheader September 7th. Might be Michigan, Texas, and Nebraska, Colorado.
Wow.
Ooh,
So
that'll be fun.
A lot of traveling around. That's a heavy day, but it'll be a fun day.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, good.
You know
Good
who's
stuff.
really good at sports gambling? And it's an odd sport that they really excel in.
Mattress Mac?
Slay Dog with the NHL.
Really?
I'm on fire.
Really?
Can't tell you a thing about it.
And can I tell
you
you?
just-
Yeah, he knows nothing about hockey.
Won't watch it.
From the hip.
Just let it go.
Yeah, Billy the Kid over here just shooting out bets.
I'm your huckleberry.
All right.
Let's
I
go.
like that. That's a nice one. That's a nice pull right there, Tombstone. That's a good one. Arizona.
Did you get a chance to watch the Titans preseason game?
I saw a couple of drives, and I love the fact that people love preseason.
How much should we take out of
Nothing.
preseason?
Nothing. It's you take into account the rookies, like the JC Latham you're seeing for the first time wearing no gloves. You're like, okay, automatic psychopath. He's throwing guys to the ground. Like, I think you guys have found your
You
next,
like him?
Yeah, your next 10-year left tackle. I think he's good.
He struggled
You see
today.
What?
He struggled today.
Good. You want him to struggle in practice.
Yeah.
That
That's
means
what
that
it- that's what
they're
comes
better
from.
and better.
Practice,
Right.
yeah.
And you're watching film on each other, and they're saying, hey, this is how you beat JC,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. Obviously, you don't try to go through the guy. You're going to try to do these different kinds of moves.
that's what it
So
was.
practice is where you need to struggle. That's where I had the hardest time mentally with my game was when the reporters would come in and they report on, hey, Taylor Lewan didn't do so well on this guy, or Taylor Lewan had a good day. Because to me, it's like that's where you're trying, risking new things. I would try different pass sets, different jump sets, and you're going to fail and look stupid sometimes. Perfect example, JPP joined practice against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, made me look like an idiot with 3 fingers. That was a tough day for me. And that happened to be filmed. But you're trying new things and stuff like that. So it's all very different. But from a preseason standpoint, it's just what you want to see is the play calling, how the coaches are playing. I think it's the first time we all sat there in the last 10 years and said, wow, we don't know what they're going to call next, which is exciting.
Yeah.
You get to see the difference in the 2 backs, Pollard and Spears. That was very exciting, the way they're able to make those cuts in the backfield, which is something we were not afforded with Derrick Henry. We love Derrick, Hall of Famer. Guys, should have a statue outside of Nissan Stadium, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But from a jump cut standpoint and finding those holes, it was harder until you got him to his 4th or 5th step. This, you're now seeing more dynamic. They're an air-first type of offense. It's going to be a very exciting offense to see. And with the weapons they have, obviously Hop's out for a couple of weeks. Once he gets better, boys,
But
we might take the South.
How much? Oh,
Okay.
We might
Let's go, Taylor!
Listen.
Okay.
Let's go, Taylor! Car ain't got no room.
Hey, listen, you guys are, we're in Nashville.
Car ain't got no room. Yeah.
AFC
Car
South.
ain't got no room. Y'all heard Taylor.
We're going to sit here in Nashville, Tennessee,
Come on.
in a studio, and we're not going to look at each other and say, we got a shot?
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, it's crazy talk.
After everything you just laid down.
This is where the homers have to be. Let them be in Jacksonville and Indianapolis and Houston. Let them be the doubters, boys. Here, we might go 17-0. Yeah, we might do it.
Clip that.
Hit the music.
Clip that.
Hit the music.
Yeah.
Hit the music.
We might do it.
We might do it, baby.
That's the beautiful thing about now in August. We're all undefeated. Hopes and dreams, aspirations of every single team is alive and through the roof, baby.
You ain't doing number preaching.
Talking about the running backs, how much does that help Will Levis to know that he has that outlet? And you saw it in the preseason game
Yeah,
a
you
little bit, and you see it at training camp. Is they are really working on those checkdowns and kind of clearing space to get running backs running across the field.
Yeah, and it's a great mix because when you have a defense on their heels or a coordinator on their heels and they don't know what you're going to call next, it's very hard to call blitzes and different coverages And having those backs that come out of the backfield and catch the ball in space, make a guy miss when you're in a 3rd and 6 situation, which you find yourself in a lot of times, that is going to be a huge part about moving the chains, which we saw a lot of issues with the Titans in the past. It was 3 yards in a cloud of dust for the longest time. Hope to God it was a play action. Let's toss it up to A.J. Brown and hope for the best type of thing. Now you have an opportunity where you can get the ball in the middle of the field, not at the sticks, and have room to run and win one-on-one battles to get that first down. Keeping drives alive. Sometimes you go from 120 to the other 20 and no points on the board. That's a good thing. Your defense is off the field. The other offense is getting cold. You're winning the battle. You win the battle over and over. Eventually, they're going to break.
Here's the other thing on those 2 backs Callahan was talking about today. He's like, these are the best backs I've ever had when it comes to pass pro.
That's big.
Like picking up blitzes, he talked about specifically.
Yes. And you got Bill Callahan, too, as the offensive line coach. All the boys in that room. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Does Will Compton love that guy?
What, Bill Callahan?
Yeah.
I heard yes, but it's more like
Nebraska guy.
He didn't know him because I think he was at the Redskins also.
Yeah,
Team formerly known as the Redskins.
He's been around,
so he knew of he was around the building, but it wasn't his direct coach. But all the other guys respected and loved him.
So we call him offensive line Jesus on this show.
Nice, good, not sacrilegious at all in the South.
We shortened it to OLJ.
Yeah,
and I asked Brunskill, I asked a couple of the guys, is that fair? And they're like, yeah. Like the guy's just different.
Yeah.
That came about because we were talking how bad this offensive line has been, this entire group, the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, but Bill Callahan. I'm like, well, he ain't Jesus.
And I said he's offensive line Jesus.
He might be.
So that is now his name.
He might be.
And
you got a left tackle that is going to be a rookie. There's going to be ebbs and flows during the season, but you're going to be happier than with the last products you have. No disrespect to the boys that used to play that position. You got a top 10 pick, or was he 11? Skoronsky, he was 11.
Yep.
At left guard going to his second year, though, you'll see a big jump there. You paid $50 million to your center. Dylan Radins.
Yeah.
He
in the starting lineup.
And look good today, too.
At right guard.
Yeah.
He looks really good today.
Dude, I'm telling you. And the people
sometimes it just takes a minute for some guys, right?
Takes a minute coaching.
Yeah.
Takes a minute and coaching. Like, you need to allow guys to find their confidence. This is such a hard world to have confidence and sustain confidence. It is it's mental warfare 24/7. You're so zoomed in. There's levels of mental disorders with every single football player because you're so focused on what your job is, good or bad. It's the end of the world or it's the best thing in the world, and having to stay, in a place where you're like staying consistent is hard. And with the last coach that was there, who I won't say his name, would not allow, there was no footing to grab confidence. No footing for these young guys to grab confidence. He came into a room with established guys that had confidence based on their last play. Myself, Ben Jones, Josh Klein was there, Jack Conklin. Those guys, we all had a level of confidence because we've done it. We knew how we worked as a team. When you don't allow young guys to just grasp, have a feeling of like, oh, I can do this, and let that snowball, that's when you're going to run into guys overthinking things way too much, playing slower and making mistakes.
Yeah.
Great point.
A vet knows you know what to go back to. You got something to go back to.
Yeah, you just
these rooks and our 2-year guys, they ain't got the success to go back and pull from.
Right. Because if a rookie has a good 2-hand punch in a 1-on-1, and it's like you just freeze it there and go, brother, that right there, that distance, your shoulders, your feet, incredible. Box that up. Maybe you lost the rep. If he loses the rep, it's like, don't even worry about that. Look at this right here. Pocket that. Put it in a little ball, put it in your back pocket, and know that that's how you got to do it. Don't worry about the result of the whole thing.
It's interesting when you talk about moving on to the next play, forgetting what just happened. I think a lot of people when they think about that philosophy or whatever, you're thinking about a quarterback, right? And moving on. But from an offensive line perspective, you're not just there to do it for you. You're there to protect a guy.
Yeah.
Because if you whiff or you have a bad rep and that spills over to another bad rep and the guy's getting hit behind you, that's a whole different thing.
It's a unique mindset to be in because you look at receivers, any other position, honestly, other than offensive line, everyone is essentially envisioning themselves having a statistically good game. A couple of tackles, a couple of touchdowns, whatever it is. As an offensive lineman, partially your first thought is I can't mess up. Yeah. So these guys can have
a good game. Negative thought.
It's a negative thought. But there's, you need to train yourself to have that mindset of like, I'm the killer, not the killie type of situation. And it's a difficult mindset to have. It's a difficult one to accomplish and keep that consistency throughout a career.
Because is it tough from your perspective playing offensive line? As you mentioned, like the only time you get noticed is, Lewan had 3 holding calls and gave up 3 sacks today.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's got to be tough.
Most was 2.5, but yep. No, yeah. Anytime statistically you have a bad game is awful, and then it goes back to the whole, you're accidentally typing your name into a search bar on Twitter, and you're thinking to yourself, "Damn, I hope it's not as bad as you think," but it's always going to be worse than you think on that type of stuff. And there's so many ways to fall into the bad mindset of like you're not good enough, or the other way around is you think you're way better than you are, which is a big issue also in the league. But for offensive linemen, man, that's
a different world.
Yeah, it's a different world. It's a different world, and it's a lot more difficult mentally than people fully understand.
When we come back, Taylor Lewan's thoughts on joint practices.
Oof.
You don't type your name into the search bar on Twitter nowadays,
Not anymore.
do you?
Not anymore. No.
Not even on social media.
No. I'm on the socials. I'm on the Bird. You can find me at Taylor Lewan 77.
All right, we'll talk about joint practices next
on 104.5 The Zone. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. Taylor Lewan in the studio.
Hello.
Car ain't got no roof, right, Slay?
Car has no roof. We just showed you guys that. If you didn't believe in it, you saw it.
Do you think you would come in here dancing?
I mean, every day I hope to have a little dance. Every day I wake up, I think, man, I hope I can just break into a Footloose situation.
Did you enjoy joint practices? It was chirpy out there today.
Yeah, of course it is. It's hot. No, the answer quickly, painlessly, put a gun to its head, no.
No.
Joint practices suck. They're worse than any game. They're worse than any other situation. It is absolute warfare out there. It's terrible.
Why is that?
Because egos and everyone's trying to prove something. There's not a stadium full of fans. There's like the Hunger Games of football. Like there's referees, but like what are they going to do? Like what is the fake flag going to do today?
They were doing one-on-one wide receiver DBs, and they literally threw a flag on every play.
Right.
Because the DBs were just jamming everybody.
And what happened? Nothing. Not one damn thing happened the entire time. And then, I'm sure Jeffrey Simmons was out there yelling about something. It's always just an elaborate scheme of fighting. It's the closest thing. It's like the Cold War. Everyone's just waiting for something to happen, right?
Usually it happens on day 2 because it bleeds over from. So most of the verbal action came on gunner play today, in special teams. Yeah, people get after it on that one.
It's funny because being an offensive lineman, you never see any of that, especially with the last couple of years I had. If we were not in team periods, we were dying in the corner, that little back area, just dying the whole time. And you just watch the film after and seeing it. And we played. Who was the team we practiced against? I can't remember, but it was the last one we practiced against that I was on the team, and there was a big scuffle at the end of practice. Everybody was involved.
It was Tampa, wasn't it?
Might have been.
Was it Brady?
Could have been Brady. Could have been, but headshots, my brain, it's a lot of memory stuff, right? But there's always inevitably going to be a massive fight. One thing I saw towards the end was when you do 2 days of joint practices, the second day was kind of like a half, hey, we're going to do 2-minute situational stuff.
They are doing 2 minutes tomorrow.
Yeah. 2 minutes fun. That's a fun time because you're moving the ball and all that. There's nothing worse than doing a team period and a big play goes down, everyone's running, hooting, and hollering, and then you got to run back, get reset, act like you're not tired at all. That's brutal. That's tough. That's tough stuff.
Taylor Lewan with us in studio. So as an offensive lineman, in the trenches in these joint practices, if you're as a left tackle and there's a right defensive end battle going on, and as you said, egos are what they are, but also a positional battle too. People are trying to make a name for themselves in these things. That can turn into something else.
Yeah, that can. It's interesting. You can see it during camp, and especially when you get into the first couple weeks of the season, the guys that are established and they have their position, they're not going anywhere. You see them more working on the fine-tuned technical kind of things. It's not necessarily hoorah.
Dance with the guy.
Yeah, if we die, we die type of situation. But once you get into the second team and the third team, the third team is where the bullets are truly flying. Those guys are trying to fight for that 50, 51, 52, 53 spot. And it's just... you kind of sit back and watch it and be like, thank God I'm not in that situation. Because I obviously was drafted where I was drafted, but those first 6 weeks, I wasn't really a starter. And it was kind of you're kind of going out and doing that. And it's kind of a rite of passage. You get to establish starter. You start to understand that this is not the important stuff. The important stuff is getting better. And it's nice when you finally realize that and you feel comfortable enough that you're going to make a spot.
So what do you think about obviously it's exciting for Titans fans because you mentioned like, hey, they're not just going to hand the ball off, right? Offensively. But what do you think about this new staff, this new regime, just as a whole, what Miss Amy has kind of done with the organization for the last, couple of years and all of that? Where are you on this Titans franchise big picture?
I think it's in one of the best positions it's ever been. And a part of that is, Amy's done a lot of work established what it is. Now she's got the stadium coming in 2027. But then you watch the free agency this year, and I think it was the first time since I've been in Nashville, Tennessee, that we did anything in the first 3 days of free agency. You're paying the money, you're getting the big names, you're getting the guys to come in, and not only that, like you're picking off veteran presences throughout this time period as well, going from free agency to camp. And now you got, I don't know a whole lot. Obviously, Callahan, he was on the pod, Rand was on the pod as well, but like Will and I had the opportunity to go in the building during OTAs. And the energy of the place it's much more loose. And I mean that in the most positive sense. Like guys seem like they're excited to come into work and they're not so nervous about messing up with that,
We've
Bill
heard that
Belichick.
from players.
Yeah, and it's becoming so well known that,
But you feel it.
You feel it, dude. You feel it. It's exciting. And you have real talent. You have real talent that's not just a couple of names, but like a well put together offense. Yeah, like the depth, I don't know about the depth and how well that's going to go if injuries start to play a part.
Right.
But
That's
when you look at the sheet right now, with no injuries, obviously Hopkins, he's out 6-4, but it's like the perfect time for him to get hurt. He's a veteran. He's going to be able to come back, play whenever he's going to be able to play at a high level. You got to look at this and be like, damn, the Tennessee Titans can be a real team in the NFL this year. And not like we're going to grind them out for 4 quarters. Hopefully we win it, 9-6 type of situation. Like we look like we're able to be in those high-flying games where points are going all over the place. And I think for the first time in a long time, people are sleeping on the defense, which is a great place to be. A great place.
So, how do I phrase this?
Phrase away.
Wow. I'm intrigued now. She's trying to watch her words.
I know. What am I doing? So was Vrabel hard to play for?
I'm sure for some guys he was.
Yeah.
I'm sure for some guys he was.
I couldn't phrase it in a better way.
No, the fear of making a mistake thing.
Yeah. I think it depends on the individual. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying with the old offensive line coach, not going to say his name, Keith Carter, where it was so difficult to kind of like find traction for confidence. If you inherited Vrabel like I did, like Ben did, you kind of can take those things with a grain of salt and keep moving forward because like, hey, he's just pushing us in a direction he wants us to go. I think it's a little more difficult because he coached everybody the same in a lot of ways, aside from Derek, aside from Jeff. Like there was a couple of guys that were outliers in those situations. However, the whole treat the team the way we're going to treat you the way you treat the team was very much Mike Vrabel. So he just, didn't care who you were. He was going to come at you in a lot of ways. Now he had moments of empathy where he would call you in his office and he would talk to you, which is great. But I'm sure for a young cat, that's, coming out of Minnesota, like a Gibbons coming out of Minnesota, I'm sure that was a hard situation to be in. Now he rose to the occasion, but other guys kind of fall by the wayside. And it's a feast or famine type of situation.
When you were playing, is there a team that you just absolutely despised?
Yeah,
or was it more individual battles?
Any team Chandler Jones was on was probably my least favorite time. No, teams I didn't like to play.
Somebody was like, Babs, ask him about Chandler Jones.
Yeah, that was a tough day at the office, wasn't it? You know what's crazy?
We have talked about that on the show before.
That game was I think the only game of my entire career, including college, where I was like not nervous. Yeah. I was like coming back from an ACL. It's like, bro, you're about to be the man again. You were about to put on a clinic today. First play. 19 Wanda. Inside move. TFL for 4. I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be a bit. Sorry, I can't curse. Can't say the S word. But I was like, oh my God. Bro, had me in a mental blender like you could not even imagine. And so, probably the worst day of my life. But you sit back on it now. It's like, listen, there were so many other great games. But that is one that you wish you could have back.
Yeah.
But the teams I didn't like playing the most, I think for me, it just depended. Like, based on the offense we were running towards the end of my career, that kind of zone, any type of 2-gap defense, I loved because it was much easier to reach. You can get guys on angles and a lot much easier. It was the penetrating, 4 guys, 4-3 defense that really was like, oh man, this is going to be hard to cut off a guy or get him in a situation where you can kind of move him off the line of scrimmage or down the line of scrimmage for a hold. That was always a very frustrating thing. The 49ers come to mind. They had those penetrating guys that are shooting straight up field. and to allow lanes in the outside zone scheme, you have to catch a guy on an angle and run them and allow a cutoff on the back end to kind of move down. So the penetrators were the most difficult to play against, for sure.
As transparent as you are, and you do a lot of self-checking because you don't mind talking about yourself. Well, how many guys reach out to you, or how many guys did you have to take up under your wing that would reach out to you during the league or whatever it may be? Did that happen?
Yeah. There'd be a handful of guys from different teams, and it's on the Titans especially.
Yeah.
You know, I was extremely lucky because I was able to play for one team my entire career and able to have the success that I did, which was awesome. And with that comes guys looking for information and advice, and it comes in a whole bunch of different ways. It's, you know, finding your routine before games during the week. One of Will Compton and I's first things was called Accountability Buddy. And it was like making sure we were both doing the sauna routines by Ben Greenfield to do HGH protocols and different recovery protocols. And if you have a buddy to go with you, it makes it a whole lot easier. And we have like a little group of guys. And then it's other guys too, pulling them to the side when they had a tough practice. And it's like, brother, it's not the end of the world. Like, that stuff is going to happen. A lot of things that I wish I had when I was coming up the first couple of years. So it's always great, especially when somebody from another team DMs you or reaches out to you and is asking for advice. There's a sense of like, it's already amazing to be in the NFL, but it's a completely different thing for other NFL players to ask advice from you. And that's probably one of the cooler things you can ever receive.
Taylor Lewan in studio. So AFC South champions.
Yeah. I mean, I think right now, no question. I think 17-0, no? What do you think?
I'm down with 17-0. That would be a fun season for us doing what we do.
Yeah, you can mark that.
Negative Nancy, how are we feeling over there? I mean, we're underdogs, I think, in everything, according to DraftKings. We're underdogs in every single game right now. I think we are underdogs, except for the Patriots game. We're like -2, which is crazy. So we got to win 3 games.
They're going to be better. Titans are going to be better than Vegas thinks. I do believe that. But I'm also just
How does Vegas do it, by the way?
I don't know. They do it.
To me.
They do it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but they messed up with the Titans. They said over-under's 5.5 wins.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm taking that over all day.
I bet on it
I'll take
a
that
month
over.
ago. I bet on it a month ago.
If they can stay healthy.
Yes.
Put the bag on it, huh?
Yeah.
No, it's small.
Hey, on the way out, just to hit your softer side.
Yeah.
What's it like being a girl dad?
It's incredible. It's great. I pray every day that I have a boy next, but
not done.
No, I'm not done.
Okay.
I always told my wife, I was like, if we have 2 girls, I'm done. Because I'm not going to be the guy that Tony Dews, who actually recruited me at Michigan.
Yes.
He was the guy that chased the boy and ended up with 4 girls. Wow. And I will say, it's like the level of empathy I've been able to achieve would not be capable without having girls. Like, I was much more rough around the edges in 2016 than I am now, because just the sweetness that these 2 little girls have is just something that it's so hard, and it pisses me off now when people are like, I know what you mean, I have a dog. It's like, dude, you don't get it. That doesn't mean I would throw my dog off of a roof for my kids. Like, it's a totally different ball game. But dude, having girls it's so special. Yeah, it's graphic, but it's real. Okay, look me in the eyes. That's real. It's such a special moment. It's so special to have 2 little girls that get excited and run to you when you come home. Good day, bad day, it doesn't matter. They're just excited to like be a part of your life, and I love that.
Love it.
It's been amazing to follow your journey in Nashville, and you've talked about that, like how much you've grown as a person in Nashville.
Yeah, the
Woo girls are very proud of you.
Who?
The Woo girls.
Who's the Woo girls?
The girls, the bachelorettes that run around downtown on those things going,
Woo! Dude,
they're very proud of you.
It is very cool. I had this conversation when I was going into my negotiations for my second contract. I was kind of talking to my wife and other people, and I don't think if I went to any other city I would have fit in the way I was able to fit in here. And I got super lucky, and it's a super special place to be. And so I could have never seen myself wearing a different helmet.
There he is.
It's special.
Taylor Lewan, thanks for coming in, brother.
Thank you guys for having me. This is awesome.
Always love it.
Appreciate you.
17-0.
One more thing.
FC champs.
OG Pain Train. We got to have it.
Oh,
Terry Tate office linebacker. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Bring it back.
Do you love it as a player?
I love it, dude. I love it.
Okay.
It's awesome.
There's been a lot of Pain Train talk in the chat here.
It's give people what they want, right?
You
want the experience. You want the in-game experience. Terry Tate office linebacker.
I love it. There he is, Taylor Lewan. More 3HL next. Our take on what we saw at training camp today next. 3HL 104.5 this zone.